Hey, Vision Chasers, Dr. Bird here, reminding you to get off the X. Get off the X. Today, we're going to continue our deep dive into this book that I'm reading. It's titled "Overcome" by Jason Redman. He was a Navy SEAL who was injured in an ambush, and the X is, well, we'll let him tell you what the X is. Okay, so he says most forces caught in a well-executed enemy ambush do not survive. The amount of firepower and devastation causes them to freeze and lose their will to fight. Most die on the spot where the ambush occurs. The ones that survive often have serious scars. In the vocabulary of combat, this location is known as the X. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Jason Redman has written this book for us. Now, definitely, we're not talking about you're not in a life or death situation. Thank God that's not your situation. But as we've talked about the author Jason Redman before, now he goes around the world speaking to wounded warriors, but he also goes around the country and he speaks to companies and leaders of those companies and their employees. So he's got a lot to say, and what he has to share, we can all learn from that, and we can be better for that. And this book is making me better, and that's why I wanted to take time to film these videos and share with you what I'm learning from this. Listen to this. So we know that he was severely injured. He says, when I was shot in Iraq in September 2007, I felt firsthand what it's like to be on the receiving end of crushing combat ambush. The devastation, the helplessness, the desire to just hunker down and hope the pain, cacophony of gunfire and raw firepower would just go away. But after years of learning how to deliver an ambush, my team and I knew the only way to survive was to fight back and get off the X. That is what we did. And thanks to my teammates' tenacity and courage, we won the fight and everyone made it home alive. Ladies and gentlemen, we need to get off the X. Life is going to send challenges our way. We're going to be ambushed by life. Again, not life or death, but still, there's something that we can learn from the way Jason Redman was able to survive, the way that he was trained to survive in an ambush scenario. We have to get off the X. And so today, what I want to do is I want to share with you what that X may look like for you. Okay, you're not going to Afghanistan, Iraq, or some battlefield to fight, but life, as we know it, is unfair. Life is unpredictable. Whenever you set a goal, you want to chase a vision of success, you got a problem coming your way if you're not already dealing with one now. So I want to talk to you about what that X may look like, And these are things that I want you to look out for, because I think all of us from time to time, we can fall into that trap of just being stuck on that X when life sends us an ambush. So number one, here's what it may look like. It may look like doing the same thing and expecting different results. Doing the same thing and expecting different results. And what I mean by that, you've heard this before. What I mean by that is just not making any adjustments, just continuing on status quo, staying in that comfort zone, doing those same things day after day after day, and just wondering, hey, why isn't this working? It also looks like a lack of asking for and utilizing feedback. I tell you always, when we use feedback gives us the opportunity to try again with better information. And that gives us a better chance of success on our second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh attempt. It doesn't matter. However long it takes, feedback is important. And you're stuck on the X if you continue to do the same thing and expect different results. Don't do that. And you know what that also looks like when we do the same thing and expect different results is that's a sign that there is no direction. There's no direction, there's no goal, we're not going anywhere, we're just taking life as it comes, whatever. And just that is a poor respect of time. That's a poor respect of the time that we've been given. And you cannot win your days if you continue to do the same thing and expect different results. You've got to make adjustments. So the other thing that X looks like is it looks like excuses, just giving into excuses, giving excuses. Excuses are easy to come by. It's easy to think of an excuse. It's easy to deflect blame. It's easy to deflect, the responsibility onto someone else. It's easy to just explain things away, that this wasn't entirely my fault. Let me tell you why. Excuses are easy. And excuses, that's a sign, especially when we start to believe in our excuses, and it's just so natural to let those excuses come out of our mouth, and we get upset when people aren't buying the excuse. You're stuck on the X. That's a sign that you're stuck on the X. You're not moving forward. You're stuck on the X. And then the worst of giving into excuses is when an individual feels entitled. And I define entitled as this. That's when a person believes that their excuses matter. They believe that their excuses matter. That's when you've fallen into entitlement. And we're vision chasers. We don't fall into entitlement. We know that life's not fair. We know that we're going to have to make adjustments. And so we do it. And you know what, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to require that we get off the X. If a person's given into giving excuses, they're stuck on the X. So the other example of what the X may look like is just simply an acceptance of a lack of results. Just accepting of, oh, this is the way it is. I knew this would happen. When I was a teacher, I had students come into my room and I had to change their thinking. They would say, "Oh, I've never been good at social studies, so it's okay. I knew this. I know I'm not going to do well on that test because I've never been good at social studies." No, you're stuck on the X because that's got your thinking fixed in a negative way. And so you can't be surprised if you get poor results. And that means that you've accepted that you're going to get poor results. And that means that you're stuck on the X. There's no forward movement there. There's no willingness. There's no ability to take in some feedback and make some adjustments. You've accepted it. It's fine. These lack of results, I knew this wasn't going to work. I knew this wouldn't happen. So it's good. I knew it. It's a sign you're stuck on the X. And the last thing I want to submit to you, this is another thing that the X may look like in what we call the real world here, not on the battlefield, not when our lives are in danger. We don't want that. And, let me also say, thank you. Salute to our men and women who have served and are serving. We thank you so much for doing what you do each and every day. Thank you for that. So here's another thing that the X may look like. The X may look like just having unrealistic expectations based on effort given. Again, that's unrealistic expectations based on effort given. And what this is this is a defense mechanism, I believe, based on what I've seen throughout my career, where I will have a student, they expect, say, "Oh, I'm going to get an A. I'm going to get an A in this class." They want an A, but the effort level is just way down here. So the effort, it never really fully matches. It never fully matches the expectations. Or, let's say someone who wants to bench press 350 pounds. They want to bench press 350 pounds. So here's the goal, but the effort, it's like way down here. It's just like you're inconsistent in your workouts. The diet is poor, and it's just not there. But the person has those expectations. They want it. They really they say to themselves with, and anyone who will listen with a lot of energy, that hey, this is my goal. I'm going to do this. This is going to happen. And what I believe what I believe this does, and again, it's a defense mechanism, but I believe what this does is it enables the person to not have to worry about the consequences until it's too late, until they actually do have to worry about the consequences. I saw this many times as a teacher, where I would have students who I knew. I would say, hey, this is a pretty big project. I think it'd be a good idea to, set a plan so that you're doing a little bit of it each and every week. It's like, no, Dr. Bird, I got this. I can do this. I got this. I'm gonna rock this project out. This is gonna be excellent. I'm gonna get an A plus 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 plus. So I give them that feedback. Time goes by. 1 week didn't do anything. Another week didn't do anything. Third week didn't do anything. The fourth week, and it's just like, ooh, the walls are caving in. But that student was just so energetic. No, I got this. Everything's fine. I got this. So as that time was passing, as that student was wasting that time, they still had that energy about themselves. They just knew, it's like, oh no, it's going to be good. And so as they were wasting that time, there were no consequences during that time that was wasted. They didn't have to worry about it. They didn't have to, as a matter of fact, there were no consequences until it was on the due date. Ooh, I don't got it. And then 2 weeks past the due date when I'm not taking it anymore. Now that's when the person had to deal with the consequences. And again, throughout that time before the assignment was due, there were these unrealistic expectations, based on the lack of their effort that they were putting into it. And I believe that what that does is, again, that it offers a bit of comfort, because you're shielded from the anxiety and stress of having these deadlines that you put on yourself. Where I'm doing a little bit every week. Oh, I gotta get a little bit every week done. So you're shielded from that. But ultimately, that due date is going to come, and there are consequences for the decisions that have been made between the date the assignment was given and the actual due date. So, and that X for me is, I feel like that X that could be the worst of all of them, because when you're on that X, it's hard for a person to see. It's hard for them to see, like, yeah, you can tell them, but it's hard for them to really take it in and accept that, oh, you're right. I do need to make these adjustments. And if a person can't really take that in and see it and accept it, then what that is going to do is that's going to prevent them from developing the skills that they need on a daily basis, and practice the skills on a daily basis so that they're better. And I believe that what this does is it prevents them from being able to learn problem solving skills, and it keeps them on the X. And I don't want that for you. I don't want that for you. All of you, anyone who's watching this right now, you're a vision chaser. We all make mistakes. We all get stuck sometimes. I fall victim to these. I've been stuck on the X, whether it's doing the same thing and expecting different results, whether it's giving into excuses and thinking that excuses matter, whether it's just, an overall acceptance of a lack of results. Or I've done this before. I've had an unrealistic expectation based on my lack of effort that I was giving. I've fallen a victim to all of those. But now that I've given you this information, you're following along this series with me where we're going through this book. You've got information. This is your invitation to make a change. This is your invitation to do something different, to take that feedback and implement it. Today could be a pivotal day, a pivotal moment in your life. All you have to do is use the information, use the feedback, reflect on yourself, get to know yourself a little bit better, and be honest with yourself about where you are and where you want to be and what's holding you back. I invite you to do that. Well, thank you so much for watching Vision Chasers. We're going to continue on in this book. And don't you worry, I'll be back real soon. And until we meet again, please keep chasing the vision.